Hello, everyone, and welcome to AI Agents Hour.
What up?
We are in a different location than normal today. So we're in person, clearly. We're hanging out. And we thought it'd be fitting because we had a whole bunch of the Mastra team in town to have the live stream at a bar. So we've joked about it, we talked about it, and now it's happening. This might be a one-time experiment. We may never do it again, or maybe this is just the new vibe. We'll see.
A lot of people from our team are literally over there working right now.
So they may drop in. The sound is probably going to be a little less quality than normal. You might have some background noise. Let us know in the chat how bad it is. We can try to do a few things on our ends to improve it, but we're not going to be able to completely fix it. But we have a pretty sweet show lined up today. We're going to be talking AI news, like always. We're going to talk about a recent Mastra launch. We're going to have Atai from CopilotKit coming on. And then we're going to talk about the TSAI conference, which is this week in a few days.
100%. It's going to be pretty sick. We are at a place called Victory Hall. If you're in SF, you should check it out. Usually no one ever comes here, which is why we come here. But today, of all days, it is popping in here. So
it's a busy day.
Yeah. They knew we were coming, I guess.
Yeah. So if you if you're interested in finding us, now you know. We doxed ourselves. But hey, come say hi, have a drink. But we're gonna start with talking about something that I saw, which I thought was kind of interesting. Before we dive in to everything else, saw this tweet come by from Theo. Okay. TypeScript is officially the #1 language on GitHub. And that's cool. And we also, if you want to read the actual full post, you can see, AI leads TypeScript to #1. That's literally the title of the blog post from Octoverse 2025. And it talks about, if you go down in here, you can read the whole post, but it basically mentions that now TypeScript is overtaken.
Look at that curve too.
Yeah. It essentially talks about how TypeScript has overtaken Python and JavaScript to become the most used language on GitHub, reflecting how developers are reshaping their toolkits. This marks the most significant language shift in more than a decade.
Damn.
It's almost like we talked about this many times. It's
almost how we imagined it. Hey, Ryan Carson's here.
Hey, Ryan.
Ryan.
Tell us how the sound quality is, because we're a little nervous about it, but we're having fun. We're in SF. We're at a bar. We're just live streaming from here. All right. So that's pretty cool. TypeScript is clearly becoming more and more popular.
TypeScript ships.
And this is kind of a lead into what we'll be talking about later when we talk about the TSAI Conf.
TypeScript ships.
But I wanted to talk through just quickly before we go into the news for today, just a little bit about a recent launch we had last week. So one of the things we've been hearing over and over, if you've used Mastra, you've probably seen we have this really nice playground that actually, funny story, the first version of Mastra, we were building this playground and we basically pulled it out. We're like, it's not good enough to ship with. It doesn't work. So the first version of Mastra didn't have it, but we built it. We just pulled it out right at the last minute because it just sucked.
Yeah.
But we knew it was important, or we thought we at least had the idea that it would be important, because getting into AI, for ourselves, we've kind of come from the web world. We've had like web admins. We've had this idea of being able to wanting to visually see the progress you're making and test and iterate. And so we added it back in. We've been iterating on it a little bit, but it was kind of always something that we had, but we never really focused on. But what we kept hearing is over and over, people just wanted to figure out, like, how do I deploy the playground? How do I use this playground in production? We heard that over and over. And so we pretty quickly realized that playground was a little bit bigger than just a small testing environment. And so we've rebranded it to Studio or Agent Studio. And now you can just deploy it in Mastra Cloud for free and collaborate with others on your team, ship your agents to the rest of your team to iterate on more quickly. And so that came out last week.
Dude, Studio is something that we thought was it was cool. We didn't realize how useful it was until you get very deep into your agent career, let's just say. And then people without the studio always tell us, "I wish I had a studio in like where I was." So, um, yeah, I'm glad. Oh, we have a bunch of fun comments.
Yeah.
Ruben, looking forward to the conference this week. I'll be watching online. We'll be watching you.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be here.
Mauricio from Brazil, ¿cómo está?
And then this one's a good one.
Oh, Roche.
This is exactly why we built it, because we kept hearing, oftentimes you'll have multiple technical people, multiple engineers, multiple developers, and then you'll have someone who's kind of like a technical PM or engineering manager that wants to be able to collaborate and see the progress. And so, yeah, you basically nailed the use case there is how do we get those slightly less technical people that aren't touching code involved early in the project.
Also, a fun story. Roche and I have been to the Dog Patch Saloon together. So thanks for calling in.
All right. Okay, so it's time. We do this every week. We dive into some of the news.
Yep.
And, today we have, we'll try to go through this kind of quickly just because we do have a guest coming
There was
on.
also some drama, too.
Okay, let's start with the drama. We always
Yesterday's timeline was crazy fucking drama between Sam Altman and Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Dude, it was crazy as shit. Like, and we're talking about OpenAI, of course, today.
Yeah, this is it. This is on the list. Yeah, let's talk about the drama.
Let's talk about the drama first, okay? So this is how I'm gonna do a play-by-play, okay? And I'm gonna also say some funny shit. Okay. So Sam Altman posted this picture. It's like a tale in 3 steps, where he like bought a Tesla Roadster, and then he asked to be canceled, or he asked to get refunded, and then the third picture is like, like host not found in the email, which is hilarious. Okay, like we have to also establish that that's pretty fucking funny as a roast, right? Then Elon, like he gets all defensive and shit, and he's just like, hey, well, someone made a nonprofit turn into a profit, and all this like nonprofit bullshit about OpenAI. And then now, guys, go watch it. Go look it on the timeline. It's hilarious, dude. But that was yesterday.
Yeah, well, I mean, Elon was recently on the All In podcast talking about the lawsuit that he has against OpenAI. Yep, and Ruben brings up, there's been some recent like OpenAI health or legal drama where I've heard, just as of today, I don't know, I haven't validated this, but maybe ChatGPT is not going to give you medical advice anymore. So there's a whole bunch of it's always a little bit of drama. And
they also released the court, or like the manuscript of Ilya's board thing. I read it. It's hilarious, dude. It's just so funny. It's like, it feels like watching an episode of like Suits or something,
It's honestly like, at some point there'll be a, like a Silicon Valley show or a Social Network movie made around this time. You just know
100%.
You just know it will be, and it feels like we're kind of living it, which is fun because you get that entertainment while we're all shipping stuff.
I watched the Uber movie with like Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a whatever that guy is, Travis. That movie is tight, but it's also like being in like startups and stuff. It's kind of like, it's not for us. It's for like the general masses and shit. This drama is hilarious, though.
All right, so let's talk about some other news. I did see something that maybe teased OpenAI might be planning to IPO. They figured out how to go from a nonprofit to a for-profit in some way. I don't know all the legal implications, but they've figured it out. They found some legal maneuvering to make it happen. So that is, likely coming. And estimated $1 trillion. That's a lot of money,
If you work at OpenAI,
good for you. Good for you. But they have a bunch of other things they've released as well. So they're doing a collaboration with AWS, and a lot of information around how they're just going to be using a lot of AWS resources. But they did, in the post, they talk about not just buying like allotment for GPUs, but buying CPUs as well. So that's interesting. Like they want it all.
OpenAI wants it all. What are those CPUs for, I wonder?
Yeah, that is kind of interesting. They've released something called Aardvark. It's an agent that finds and fixes security bugs, uses GPT-5. So
Pretty sick.
yeah, it's nice that they are like, building some of this stuff. They did release something open source as well. So last but not least, as far as OpenAI things that they've released in the last week, OSS Safeguard, which
This is tight.
which essentially like guardrails, right? And we've been talking about guardrails for quite a bit, but it does have kind of a slightly larger, but then a pretty small model that you can kind of write your own custom safety policies, and then it'll try to be the guardrails to enforce those safety policies.
Yeah. This is really cool, and I think this is telegraphing like what we're going to see in 2026 is SLM movement, where you have smaller models doing specific things that make sense. We had the homies on a couple weeks ago for the condom episode.
Super Agent.
Super
We
Agent
had Super Agent.
The condom episode.
That'll forever be known as the condom episode.
But this is kind of that same vibe.
Yeah, and and I think we talked with Osmosis, we talked with Andy about like reinforcement learning, and so I think this idea of smaller, more well-tuned models toward your specific use case could be better in certain situations. It's not going to replace these large models. The large models have a place, but I think we'll continue to see that more and more.
Yeah, like model routing will be very interesting in 2026.
Ruben has an idea. Maybe we should do that. We'll make a video about using open models and small language models with Mastra. Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
We still need to do. Maybe we should do a workshop where how we always wanted to break down every model. Maybe we should do that in a workshop or something.
Yeah.
Because the Chinese are coming, as we tell you all the time.
Yeah. We do. We will at some point also just kind of go through various. It's on the list. It's on the short list of topics where we just cover all the major Chinese model providers as well as like their list of models. All right, so
thank you, Nick. You support that.
Continuing on here, we do have Stagehand has released kind of an update. They did a rewrite to run, basically they dropped Playwright and they're running directly on CDP. Abby, what's CDP?
Dude, honestly, it's just bullshit to control the browser.
Yeah. All right.
And Playwright, dude, like having been in web dev for so long, Playwright is actually, let's say, like the latest evolution of this shit, right? Because we have been using different shit. Whoever used Cypress, like, let's pour one out for Cypress real quick, like things like that. And then you also had like Mocha, like ETE, and all this bullshit. So now Playwright's like it was the coolest one in this evolution of freaking like browser testing type shit. And Paul, fitting, they don't need it. Stagehand is a agentic version of this. You could just you could do this stuff already. If you're going to use Chromium browser, why do you need Playwright? I get it. It's tight.
Yeah. I mean, it made sense at the beginning because it was a way to get there faster. But then I think they've realized they actually have more flexibility if they just get rid of that dependency. It's I think that's a pretty common trend. You kind of like move fast, you're dependent on certain things, and then over time maybe you realize the dependency wasn't actually needed or isn't needed in the long term.
Hey, Tony's here. Get over here.
Right. So we are taking a break here. Let's
what's up, man? You guys know Tony?
Hold on, we're gonna stop. You can't see.
There we go.
There
Tony's
it is.
Here.
Hello.
We got the whole a lot of the team together. Not everybody, but it's an exciting week here in San Francisco. You just rolled in, Tony?
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally just got here.
Tony rolled in from another country.
Yeah, I
Right here.
I rolled in just 20 minutes ago from another state, but legit different country.
I rolled in here out of bed, so that's what I did.
All right. Well, yeah. The audience says, "What's up, Tony?"
What's up, Tony?
What are you excited about most for this week? Maybe that's a good segue.
The conference.
Yeah, the conference. Anything specific about the conference? Any speakers you're excited to see?
All speakers. There's a very good lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be
I don't want to
talking.
miss a single one. So
Okay. We're gonna be talking about the conference here in a little bit, and we'll be previewing some of the speakers. But I agree, the lineup is sick,
Super sick.
and if you're not already registered, you can't buy tickets for in person, unless maybe you DM us. We might have one spot we can find for a dedicated audience member in SF if you didn't get tickets. But otherwise, you can attend virtually. So please go sign up tsconf.ai. We'll talk
Good
more
seeing you,
about
dude.
it.
It's been a while since we all seen each other. We work remote. Mastra is like a remote company, but we're all homies from a long time. Like we all came together, and so like these things are special, like to meet up and stuff.
Yeah, we'll try to bring on some more Mastras at the end of the episode when because I know Atai is coming soon, which reminds me I gotta send him some information so we can actually join this thing. All right,
Did you get a beer yet? It's time, dude. It's time.
all right.
good seeing everyone. I'm gonna go and get something to drink.
Yeah,
I'm thirsty.
dude. If you could get us something, I have a tab open, so put it on my tab. Cider.
Give me some kind of cider.
Yeah.
I'll take a cider. That sounds good. All right, everybody. Yeah, we're having a good time.
Yeah.
So, you want to talk about this next one, and
Yes.
then I'm going to get our guest on.
Okay, so as I was saying, and I keep saying every week, the Chinese are coming. Okay, and there was actually a comment in the live stream that I'll do right now. Do you have a favorite model outside of the U.S.? Yes, it's Kimi, aka the thing that we're talking about right now. So Kimi Linear it just came out. We do model highlights all the time. The cool thing is we're gonna have this like Hugging Face adapter soon. So if you're like a JavaScript dev and you want to try out these like models and stuff, it becomes a lot easier because we obviously really like them ourselves. So just another Kimi one. So that's cool. And then let's talk about another. I told you, dudes, the Chinese are coming. Okay, Quen, another one of our favorites internally here at Mastra. Max Thinking here. I actually tried this one. It's kind of slow, dude, to be honest. It's kind of slow. And I don't think Max Thinking in general matters to me. But that's just my opinion, you know? It's not like it pondered some shit that I would never think myself. Like, it's kind of whack to even spend time on that. But, you know.
Yeah, but I will say, though, it's not even released yet. But if it's true on the benchmarks, it's actually pretty good. 100% on two different benchmarks, AIME and HMMT, which they'd be the first one. I guess we can pull up. We do have those links here. We can pull up the benchmarks so you can kind of see. And I think a lot of these are just like, it's hard to know if is it just benchmark maxing, where it's basically training on the benchmark, or if it's actually like, did it actually solve the real problem. That's why these benchmarks usually come and go, because eventually you set a benchmark, all the models train towards it, they do a really good job, and then they move on they need a harder benchmark or a different benchmark. So you can see there hasn't been any 100% yet on this AIME 2025. So that in its own right is a little bit interesting. And then this HMMT 2025 benchmark is also, there's been a few. The only one that's been 100% is GPT-5 Pro. So as you can see, it's basically, the statement is it's going to be up there with GPT-5 Pro as far as reasoning is concerned. So it is interesting. It always makes you at least stop to think that that's a pretty bold claim. So we'll see when it actually comes out. But overall, looks promising from a kind of open model. And we're going to pause. We have some more AI news. We have some more models to talk about, some more releases, but we have some guests as well. And so these are some people we've also shared beers with at bars. And, we're just going to be sharing a conversation. So let's bring them on. We have Atai from CopilotKit.
Hey, Shane. Hey, Abby.
Hey, Ruby's in there too.
Yeah, and Yuli's here, so I'm going to bring him on too. Why not?
Oh, wow. Hey, guys.
What's up, guys?
Hey, guys.
Surprise guest. How's it going?
It's going well. We are actually in a bar right now. So we got a whole bunch of the Mastra team,
Yeah.
and we are just co-working. We didn't get a co-working space for today because everyone's just getting in at different times. So we are just co-working from a bar in San Francisco.
We always meet in bars, whether in person or virtually. It's always a bar.
Yeah. It's like that's where we hung out last
Is
time.
that a good sign or a bad sign? I don't know.
I don't
Seems
know.
pretty great to me.
Yeah, it seems like a good sign to me. But yeah, we are trying to make some moves, and while we're here, we're also having some fun. So
Yeah.
But we were excited to bring you on, obviously, to talk a little bit about CopilotKit. Of course, say thanks for being part of the TSAI Conf, which we're going to talk about in a little while as well. But maybe I'm assuming most people know about CopilotKit if they're watching this. But if not, just in case they haven't heard, they've been living under a rock. Tell us a little bit about CopilotKit. I don't know.
Give a quick pitch. Essentially, CopilotKit is the agentic applications company. Right? We make the connective tissue between agentic backends, which is your guys' world, and agentic frontends, right? User-facing agentic applications. And we're also the company behind the AGUI protocol, the Agent User Interaction Protocol, which is a general-purpose connective tissue between, an agentic frontend and an agentic backend. From a technical standpoint, the last 30 years of the internet, everything has been running on the request response paradigm, right? Client makes a request to a server, it gets some data, renders that data, and the interaction is over. But agents, have a long list of qualities that make them incompatible with that. So that's a technical kind of source for all this. We at this point power millions of agent user interactions every single week, growing exponentially. Have over 180,000 installs to our packages every week, all the way from Fortune 100s, startup unicorns, just startups, everybody in between, and very excited to be working with you guys on the Mastra integrations.
Yeah, definitely. We know it's been a problem that a lot of our users have been trying to solve is how do we build rich user interfaces for these agents? And so it's cool to see all the progress you've been making, but also to have tools that users can kind of pull off the shelf and customize to make it fit whatever they want to build, right? It's kind of gives them the flexibility, but also like lets them move a lot faster.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a whole new set of building blocks that you need when you build these agentic applications, all the way from obviously the basics, just chat, to generative UIs. There's different flavors of those. But then all the way to, shared state, where you can have state synchronization between agents and applications. There's different flavors of those too. There's read write, and then there is read only in either direction. You have front-end tool execution. So anyways, this list of building blocks, it's not infinitely long, but it's not that short either. We essentially, want to take care of that so that both application developers don't have to worry about that. And then also you guys can give all of your ecosystem these functionalities, hopefully relatively easily, at least more easily than implementing it yourself, by kind of integrating with a AGUI protocol.
Atai, if I'm a front-end developer and I want to get into generative UI, what does that mean to a person not in AI yet? What are the front end? How does your life change as a front-end dev getting into generative AI through the UI?
Yeah. And you know what? I could also potentially use this as a springboard to screen share a little bit. And
Please do. We love that.
We love seeing demos.
All right, let's do that.
Demos.
Let's see how that works. All right, can you guys see this?
We can.
All right, great. But maybe I'll start here, but I can share some CLI stuff too to show people how they can actually get this type of stuff working on their own computers in a few minutes, really. But this is the AGUI dojo. It's just kind of a showcase of a bunch of the building blocks that we have in, and just to show that you have chat, obviously, so you can just say chat with the agent, get something back with streaming and so on. This is also showcases supports for front-end tool calls with this silly example of changing the background color, right? So you can do a lot of really interesting things by the agent and being able to execute front-end tools, but this is just a bunch of hello world snippets to kind of get to the core. There's back-end tool rendering. So that's one type of generative UI, right? When the agent calls some tool in the background, you want to be able to show both the inputs, the arguments to those tools, and the outputs, what it comes up with. And so this is backend tool rendering is one of these examples. And then, of course, you have other flavors too, including front-end tools. So these are tools that live just on the front end. We have here a haiku generator. We see here it generate a nice haiku for us. And again, these are kind of simple little examples, but showcase the ability to not just have chat in the experience. And then this is another kind of neat example, which is shared state between the agentic front end and the agentic backend. So here we have a recipe builder, and let's say we want to make a spicy pasta dish. And we'll see here that as the agent is running, it's going to update this shared state now that exists between the front end and the back end. And let's hope the demo gods are with us. I guess demo gods are not with us today. I'll try that one more time. I'll switch to one of the. Hold on, let me see. Make a spicy pasta dish. This is definitely, okay, there we go. So we have here, update it. Anyways, you need the demo gods to be on your side. That's always important. Okay, we got this update here coming in. So this is some of the things that you can do with shared state. The list actually goes on a lot more. I realize we need to complete our dojo, but all these features are working on integrations. We just don't have all of them in the dojo. But maybe to talk a little bit about generative UI. So, generative UI is about, again, things in the chat, agentic chat, that are not just text, right? They're actual components that you can use. And there's a really big spectrum, even on this just one part of this agentic front end. There's a big spectrum of possibilities for generative UIs. There's what we call static generative UIs, and that's where you have, maybe a long but a finite list of things that the front end specifically supports. And the advantages there are, the designers can get these pixel perfect, right, for the 5-10 things that are shown most commonly in your application. The disadvantage is that they're pretty high coupling between the front and the back end, like you're used to, in the old world pre-AI. But there's other flavors of generative UI that that have different trade-offs, make different trade-offs here. So there's, for example, fully open-ended generative UIs allow the agent to bring any UI it wants at all, either through an iframe or through raw HTML. You have some examples on that in some generative UI formats that AGI supports, for example, MCP UI. And then there's this middle of the road, which I think is really interesting, which we call declarative generative UI. And that allows the front end and the back end to agree on a spec, essentially, of semi-open UIs. And then the agent can specify these cards. And these cards themselves are not fixed. They can be very different from one another, but they use the same building blocks. So let's say they use, in terms of input forms, you can have address forms or date forms. You have maybe Google autocomplete for the address and for the date, whatever you want. And then you have output fields. You can have graphs and charts and so on. So there's a big spectrum of possibilities there. We essentially try to be agnostic. We explain to people the different benefits of each one's, but we make all of them available for developers to use as they see fit.
Yeah, dude, I love that recipe demo, because it just shows like the beauty of like shared state. Like, I mean, most things are schema driven, right? As we know, we always are gravitated towards like the schema driven development. The only problem then is like you have to make sure the agent actually does whatever the fuck you want, and that becomes the next problem of that, right?
And I can show these are the building blocks that you can use. But then what applications you actually build with it, and this is maybe the bonus at the end is this is just the CLI command for getting started with Mastra CopilotKit. But you can build. There's really two reasons why people are building these agentic applications. One is just to simplify complex SaaS, right? So this is an example of a SaaS Copilot. You can ask here. Everything for us we're doing is developer facing. So these are like developer platform where you can manage developers and you have testers and lab admins and so on. So I can ask show me the breakdown of work by a platform. And you can see here, okay, here it is, front end, back end, docs, and so on. How about the breakdown by contributor? All right, so nobody can hide. So we see here, John is pretty active. Cersei is not so much, right? So you can have this interaction inside the chat. But we can also have like in-app, right? So I can ask it, show me all the PRs that you think are at high risk for emerging by the end of today. And now it can use actual judgment and show me these PRs. Right. So it can use actual judgment.
Tight.
Yeah.
That is tight, dude.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice. And I mean, this is very soon going to become the norm in all the SaaSes that we use, probably for the benefit of all of us. And then the other reason people use these agentic applications is to just accelerate core work, right? And obviously developers, we're used to that a lot in our day-to-day engineering workflow now with Cloud Code and Cursor and all these applications. But the same is really coming to every vertical. So this is a really simple, I think we built this together for the first what was it? Like the event that we did together. The workshop. Yeah, there we go. And this is kind of a mini linear, right? A project management software, but now that has a Copilot in it. We can ask it, create a project to redesign my website from scratch, make all the decisions yourself, don't consult me, and assign tickets to different team members based on their strengths. Right. So this is a bit of an artificial example to keep the demo short. And this is something that we built during the workshop in like a couple hours maybe. So this is very easy to build this stuff. So we got all these to-dos here. Say like, break the tickets up a lot more. This is too high level. And we see here the example of generative UI. You can see what's happening behind the scenes here. Again, this is kind of this workshop-y example. So pretty straightforward. But now we see it's done here, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the power of these tools. To fully automate your project manager, we're probably not quite there yet, but to give your project manager this superpower, like Cloud Code for everything, we're here. So that's kind of neat.
Dude, I love this shit, man. So sick. I love it.
Yeah, I really think too, there's even like another level that we're starting to see more and more people experiment with, which is not only is the Copilot helping you collaborate on something, but the Copilot could also be, you can take a step further. It can be educating you on how to use the product. If it's a new product, it could be like exposing different parts of the UI to you as you kind of like get further along with onboarding of the product. There's multiple levels of where like AI injected into an app, into like a SaaS application could really help not only the onboarding experience, but also the collaboration experience get further a lot faster.
Yeah, it's really taming complexity. Like you now have this almost like a person that ships with your app, knows everything about it, knows everything about the user, can help the user use it. So it's both in terms of managing the complexity and managing the actual work. Like we can hand off some work to this person, it's not like you're out of the loop. You're still very much there's this whole big discussion we can have on autonomy versus not autonomy. But maybe an interesting angle here actually is when you flip this script, where now the agents start to learn from the user, as opposed to the user kind of directing the agent. And I think that's something we're also very excited about. Kind of the next slightly around the corner, taking all these interactions between agents and users, and essentially building RL data sets from them, and then you can use those. And that's just for clarity for anybody watching. It's not us stealing the data or taking the data. It's building infrastructure to allow any user or customer to make this data kind of useful, actionable. So that's something that I think is going to be, RL is what took. That's the main thing that works to improve these agents, at scale. That's what took the original GPT autocomplete to ChatGPT. It's the models are really good at coding because there's so many RL data sets, and there's now the leaders here are kind of already collecting all these interactions. I like to ask people who's ever like trained RL data sets, and like nobody raises their hand. It says who's using.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Professor Andy would.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring this up because we literally had a conversation with our friend Andy from Osmosis, who's doing the same thing. It's I do believe that you're onto something and he's onto something, and we've all been talking about it a little bit. Is that RL is going to be huge in the next year, and beyond. But I do think it's going to have a place in 2026 where a lot people who maybe heard fine tuning, didn't really care about it, thought it was too hard, and now it's like, okay, well, RL is maybe a little bit more approachable, but you kind of have to collect the data. You have to be able to then curate that data and then know what you're doing to actually do something with it once you have it.
Yeah. There's a lot of these bottlenecks to actually be able to use these systems. Like just the infrastructure is, excuse me, is a big one, but that's getting a lot of progress really quickly. Both by the model companies, OpenAI, Anthropic, have like better and better fine tuning APIs, and also thinking machine labs and all those. But data is kind of still a really expensive bottleneck, and you have to pay Scale AI like I don't know many thousands of dollars for like a little bit of RL, and it's also ultimately not that specific to your application, right? Because you can't hire people who can RL your sales Copilot or your application, whatever that is. But if you flip the script and now start having your users be able to be the trainers, because every active interaction with an agent is a nudge. Like, did it work well or did it not work well? That it flips the script there. But that's the next a little bit around the corner.
I think it might be here, dude. Like, honestly, like I think it's coming. Like not even around the corner. Like tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Is that Professor Andy at Osmosis?
Well, I mean,
I don't want to put words in his mouth, but like
I mean,
We should talk to him.
writing is on the wall.
yeah, people are working on it for sure. I mean,
Yeah, the writing is on the wall. Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
He mentioned that they threw an RL event and they had a capacity for 200 people, but 800 people signed up. So there's a lot of interest.
Seems like a hype thing too.
Yeah, I mean, there's some hype, of course.
I mean, look, we've seen it working, and that's the tool that the model companies use, like reach for when they want to enter the application world. It's okay. Let's RL it for this application, and it works. It works really well, like really, really well. It's how do you tie all these pieces so that you can bring it to any team and any company and get like RL agents that are customized for per agent per customer. I think that's coming sooner rather than later. But
yeah.
Like if you could self-serve that, then it's game over, right?
That's the dream. Yeah, that's
yeah, you can self-serve. Yeah, because you typically using smaller models that are more like hyper-tuned towards what you need. And that's all often what we've been seeing a lot, or people are talking about a lot more. And there's a lot of like token efficiency gains you can get from it as well. I mean, well as like quality. Quality is always number one. Like people are always asking, how do we increase the quality? But there's other gains you can get from it too.
That's true. Yeah, cost is definitely part of the equation, especially when people actually roll to production, because these things are cheap. But
typically cost is like, it's kind of one of those things where it's actually going to cost you a lot more in the beginning, probably. So it's like it's actually more expensive in the beginning, but at a certain level of scale, maybe it actually decreases cost.
That's right. And there's also, by the way, there's what people call in-context RL. So that's not even fine tuning. It's essentially prompt optimization, but you encode in the prompt all the things that worked well and did not work well, all the user journeys through an application, like to get to some good end result. There's a lot of information there. You can use it on the model weights, but just making that accessible to the LLM at generation time is in the right way, the right format is also really, really powerful. So
I mean that's just like another tool for context engineering, right? It's like, how do you get the right how do you improve the prompt in a way that you can get the best results you can get out of the existing models, and then if you need to go further, you can actually pull something out that changes the model weights.
How much time do we have, guys?
We got like 5 more minutes or so.
5 minutes. Do you want to do a quick showcase of the Mastra getting started CLI with CopilotKit?
Sure.
Yeah. Let's see it.
All right, let's do it. I think I'll just share my entire screen, which is risky, but I'll risk it. You don't send me any funny text. All right, so this is it's really cool. I'm really shout out to Tyler who built this CLI, and also shout out to the integration building. Abhi, you were honestly a big pusher behind that. You and Ward alongside Marcus on our side. So good job, guys.
Thank you.
All right, here. So npx CopilotKit latest. We're gonna use Mastra. Let's call it hello again, Mastra. That's really all there is to it. Now I cheated and cloned it in advance so that I don't have to install and also put my OpenAI key live here. But it's that's all it is. This is the exact same folder, and I just ran npm run dev. And if I now go to the 3000, what you get at the end of this is this hello world kind of environment that has everything already loaded in it from many of these building blocks, right? So you have generative UI, so you get the weather in San Francisco. We have front end tool calls, and these are just suggestions to kind of have a guided experience. We have set the theme to green. So now we have a green theme, human in the loop. Please go to the moon. Do we want to launch or abort? Let's launch. And what if we aborted? Would we aborted? There's some shared state here. So this is a bunch of proverbs. CopilotKit may be new, but it's the biggest since this last bit. Okay, that's nice. Let's write a proverb about AI. See what it comes up with. AI is like a compass, it guides but does not decide. That's deep.
I live my life by that one. Yeah.
And we can update this shared state, right? So remove one random proverb. Let's see what it chooses to remove. Okay, AI is this compass remains here, and we can read this shared state. So what are the proverbs? Yeah, you can see it. So that's nice. The agent. This is the showcase of some of these things. From a code standpoint, this is extremely straightforward. So if I look here, let me zoom in a bit. We have the Mastra weather agent, and we give it the weather tool to go fetch the thing. There's memory using SQL store. And that's really all there is to it. And then on the front end side, there's examples of this is a front end action. So we just use Copilot action, find the name of this tool, what arguments we're expecting, and then a handler. So this is now gonna get passed to the agent. And by the way, if folks are concerned about what can the agent execute every tool, if you want, you can whitelist or allow list certain tools and deny list some other ones. We have the shared state, which is kind of neat. This is all it takes. You have now state and set state with use coagent. Just like in React, you have use state. Now you have use coagent and all the state synchronization with streaming, with delta computation. So you make it really efficiently, which is really important, really quickly. All is taken care of. This is to render backend tool calls. So this is weather tool call. And human in the loop, finally, we have this render and wait for a response. We have this response callback, and you just call it when the user did something. And that's really all it takes. So this is really, really easy to build these. The demos we showed before, it's really on the order of a day of work to build these things pretty quickly.
Dude, it's great, dude. A lot of improvements, too.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, a lot of improvements and a lot more coming, too.
Yeah, we've seen all this stuff, at different points, but it's cool to kind of look back and say, like 6 months ago, what it looked like compared to what it does today, because
I know.
It's coming
6 months ago, I don't think we had anything yet, and our AGUI I think was still an
Yeah, we launched AGI with Mastra. So.
Yeah. I remember you and I talking about the name because we went back and forth.
Yeah.
We talked about what you were deciding to name it.
Yeah, you guys
you hated it, right?
Yeah,
I still do.
And I will say, like,
I still did.
I actually, but I think it landed. Like I was,
It did. It
like
landed.
the other name that I thought was, arguably better in my opinion, might not have landed because this one definitely did. So I'm sure, like, if you're listening to this, if you're tuning in, watching this live, have you heard of AGUI? I'm guessing a lot of you have, and maybe you didn't know. The nice thing about it is it's just a protocol, right? So it's like, yes, of course, CopilotKit supports it, but it's meant to be an open protocol that
that's right.
Front end framework should be able to support and use. And if we could agree on the right standards, it makes it easier for the back end and the front end to communicate.
Yeah, that's right. And there's, we make React and Angular clients, but there is now community clients with Kotlin and Rust and .NET coming soon from interesting sources, and all sorts of there's good work being done in this space. In addition, there's a Slack client and talks of that, and messaging-based client, so you can put these things, on a WhatsApp or RCS. That's another type of protocol. So, anyways,
Yeah.
there's
And the cool thing is, like, Mastra is integrated with all of them, like, just by being compatible with AGUI, which is cool. Like, you
Yeah.
can have Mastra agents running in your glasses, as one guy in our community demos
That's cool.
through this.
he built a AGUI smart glass client, which is kind of neat. Yeah,
That shit's tight.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, all right, guys. So, what's the best way for people to follow what you're doing?
Wooly, that's you.
At CopilotKit on Twitter has it all.
All right. So, go follow at CopilotKit.
Go to Tinkerers, right? Shout out.
Thinkers, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Go to Tinkerers.
DevTool Thinkers, yeah.
Or we'll obviously
Yeah.
see you in a couple days at TSAI. Excited to hang out
Yes,
more
let's go.
there. And yeah, well, thanks for coming on the show. You're always welcome back if you have cool new stuff to showcase when you launch new things.
Awesome. Yeah, we have 1.50 really coming soon, which has a few things maybe I'll mention briefly, and we should definitely do another one of those when that comes out. It's got all new internals, but no breaking changes. So all the existing interfaces, developer interfaces, continue to work. There's new features, like a lot of stateful features with full support for self-hosting on anybody's clouds or on-prem. And then there's all new developer interfaces too. So a lot of what I showed here, these interfaces, there's shiny new variants. Yeah.
So,
I'm back on launch
what
day.
beer are you drinking, Shane?
I don't know. They just brought me. I told them to bring me some kind of cider.
All right.
It's 2:00. Trying to take it easy right now. But
This is my 7th beer. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I believe it.
yeah,
So, your 7th, we'd hear the real thoughts.
if you think he has no filter now, wait till we get a couple more beers.
Wait till
the 7th.
How long is the stream going? Is it is it going on now?
No, we'll be closing. We're gonna hang out with the team.
Yeah,
So we got like 10, 15 more minutes to close out and wrap some things up. But we appreciate you both coming on, and we'll talk to you again in a couple days.
It's
Awesome.
dope.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Oops.
See you guys.
Yeah,
Peace.
see you guys.
All right, now it's just us.
All right, back to just the two of us. All right, well, that was cool.
That was fun.
Always good to see. I always like to see live demos. If you're tuning in now, this is AI Agents Hour. I'm Shane. This is Abby. We do this every week. We're not normally in a bar, but today we are. Normally we record this or do this live at about noon Pacific time. Today we started a little late because I was traveling, but we talked a little bit about Mastra Agent Studio. We did some AI news. We talked with Yuli and Atai from CopilotKit. We have a few more news topics we want to cover, and then we're going to talk about the TSAI Conf.
Yeah. I found myself
so-
in this bar.
There are some there's some interesting comments we can share. So Joseph says, if I have built an agent using Vercel's AI SDK, can I bolt on Mastra to help my existing agent more resilient to errors, persistent and better evals and tracking for the agent?
Yes.
Yes. So typically the way we see people do that is where you normally are calling like generate or stream calls in AI SDK. You just swap out a Mastra agent for that, use the Mastra class, get the agent, call our generator stream, and it should just work. There's obviously a few things you can piece together there, but you can get memory, observability, you can run evals, you get all the stuff, and it's pretty easy. I mean, Mastra is kind of built on a lot of different pieces of AI SDK as well. So we often have that where you run both together. So you can kind of do it. You can kind of piece out different parts of it. Like maybe you don't want to replace your entire application. You just want to swap in a Mastra agent for this thing, see if you like it, and then eventually you just end up swapping everything, all of those generate calls. All right, and I don't know how to pronounce Srinivas. Hey, thanks for the new awesome update that I can share the dev server with my team and convince or let them decide why Mastra is killer in AI agent framework space. I appreciate you.
I like you, bro.
Yeah, thank you. All right, let's talk some more AI news. So we didn't get to everything. So we talked about Quen. Let's talk about cognition. You pull that up, and then I'll pull up. We'll talk about the next one.
Last week, or it felt like last week, was the week of coding agent releases.
Dude, that was last week.
Literally.
It feels like it was a month ago, but
Dude,
it was
feels
just
like-
last week.
Because I've been using Composer 1. This is not even what we're talking about. I've been using Composer 1, and it's tight. And then you got Devin over here, or sorry, Cognition over here, introducing their own agent as well.
You can just build your own model. That's what they're kind of saying. All right.
Yeah.
So they're basically built their own agent model specific for, probably, I imagine it's kind of tuned for the types of tasks that they're seeing, right?
Yeah.
So they partnered with Cerebras. It's available in Windsurf, which still exists.
What the fuck is Windsurf, dude?
I remember when we used to be windsurfers.
We used to be windsurfers. Dude, why? But like,
Yeah.
it's cool though. But like, if it's available in windsurf, I feel like no one's gonna use it.
Yeah, I wonder, is it only available in Windsurf though? I bet it's available. I'm sure you can use it in other places, but I doubt it's in Cursor or anything yet. But it is, that's not the only model that was released. Along the same lines, we had Cursor introducing Cursor 2.0, our first coding model and best way to code with agents.
It is.
So this is,
Quite
it's
big.
called Composer, right?
Yep, Composer 1. Dude, I've been using that shit nonstop. I fucking love it because it's not that smart, but it's so fast. It could do, like, if you know what you're doing, you just tell it, like, it does it, like, so quickly. You don't have to wait. But if you ask it to think for itself, it kind of sucks from that perspective.
So it's still just an agent in the sidebar?
Yeah, it's just another model. Like, we've been doing a lot. Like, we're going to be releasing on 1.0 soon. So I'm, like, deleting a bunch of shit, which is something that I don't want to do by hand. But I also want to do it kind of agentically because I don't want to destroy some shit I didn't mean to. And I just don't want to spend. You shouldn't spend money on tasks like that. I'm just using Composer because it's so fucking fast. Because I know what I'm doing, right?
So
but then I had to like try to build some new shit. It fucking failed so hard, dude. Like, it was not good.
Okay, so anecdotal evidence says Composer great if you just need to do things for you and you want to like guide it and just have it make moves really quickly. If you need it to solve your problems for you, you might want to stick with
4.5.
Yeah.
Stick with 4.5.
Or Claude Code, whatever. But that's cool. So
I'm a Cursor fan. Stan, all of them.
So this was, so let's talk about, we've been talking about it's the year of, we've been mentioning 2026 is the year of small models. We've also been mentioning it's the year of agent memory.
Indeed.
So we have
the homies, once
this.
again.
So Mem0
The
announced
homies.
that they raised a bunch of money. And they've had 14 million downloads, a ton of GitHub stars. They talk a little bit about, you can watch the video, of course. We're not going to watch it here, but there's a lot of excitement around agent memory and what that means. So congrats to Mem0. Come on the show. Where are you at? Come on the show.
Taranjeet's a fucking legend, dude. That guy, in our YC batch, everyone was like, yo, Taranjeet, you know Taranjeet? I'm like, not yet. He's like, that guy's a legend. And I met him. He is a legend. He is a fucking legend.
All right, yeah, Taranjeet, open invitation. Come on the show.
We'll get him on the show.
But congrats to Mem0. And last bit of news, I thought this one was pretty cool, mainly because, I've used a lot of voice-related models. Specifically, I used a lot of 11 Labs, and this demo was pretty sick. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but I want to play it just because I think it was a pretty cool demo. So Cartesia announced Sonic 3, and basically, it's just a good model from the demos. Again, haven't actually tested it, but it appears really pretty awesome. I don't know why we can't hear this.
They're so great, even Elon loved our last model. I'm excited to show you our latest, Sonic 3. Now, can you tell which one's the real Elon?
I don't really have a business plan. What's a business plan?
The answer is neither. Both are Sonic 3. Here's the thing, even my voice was AI generated this entire time.
That's amazing.
Sonic 3 is the best model for real-time conversation. Let's see it in action.
Hi, this is Sarah calling back from Saffron Kitchen.
Another robocall.
I get that a lot. So, were you looking to make a reservation?
Yeah, tonight for 2 at 8.
8 o'clock? Got it.
Oh, wait, actually, honey, does 8 p.m. work tonight?
नहीं 8:30 चलते हैं मैं काम कर रही हूँ
Oh, अच्छा. काम खत्म होने में टाइम लगेगा. 8:30 then?
Actually, wait, do you take walk-ins?
Uh-huh. But it gets pretty packed. Better to have the res.
Got it. Yeah, 8:30 works.
Sounds great.
That's
So to
crazy.
confirm, your phone number is
That's
All right,
crazy.
So that's a demo. Again,
That's dope.
that's the cherry pick demo.
Speaking Hindi and shit on there.
Yeah, it's like multi-language, so overall though, Sonic 3, very promising, especially if you like familiar with 11 Labs and other real-time voice, OpenAI's real-time voice.
Yeah.
They talk, they do talk a little bit about some of the details of it. So you can check out that thread, learn a little bit more about it. If you're building real-time voice apps, it's always promising to see new breakthroughs. I don't know if it's considered a breakthrough, but it does seem better than a lot of the other
Yeah.
demos that I've seen. So seems very realistic. Seems like the latency is pretty good. So if the demo holds up, it's pretty awesome. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the TSAI Conf. So
Indeed.
we're going to talk through and we're going to highlight the agenda. So if you are there, you know what you're in for. If you're going to show up, come say hi, we'll be there. But if you're not, and you can of course register and watch it virtually, we'll talk about what you can expect to see. And we don't really know exactly what's going to happen, but we'll give you the rundown. All right. So tsconf.ai. Go there, sign up if you have not already. You can still get a virtual ticket. So first, we get the opening keynote. Sam, me, and Abhi are all going to chat. The one thing you will
We'll
notice.
see what that is about.
Yeah, we still are planning this, very much like we handle the planning for this show. Sometimes we throw it together. But one thing you will notice that I actually really like about the way we're running this conference and the way we even do guests on this show is like we bring on people for a very short amount of time, and it's like, give us the best stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have 45 minutes. This is not a 45-minute keynote. You get like 15 to 20 minutes. Like, give us the best stuff you got.
Yeah.
And pack it into something that's actually like action packed and something people can like take away something, rather than having like these really long drawn out. So
Where you just show your product.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So it should feel like you're getting like a lot of value in a very short amount of time. That's the whole goal.
That's the goal.
So you can see like literally the opening keynote is 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
for 3 people. So I'm going to talk for like 6 seconds.
Same. 30 seconds maybe.
And then you got Paul. He's talking about, lessons learned building an AI first
Which
browser
was
automation
super
framework.
Interesting.
Yeah, of course, TypeScript. It's 15 minutes long. You got Swix. Swix has his 15 minutes to talk about the impossible triangle of LLM infra. Then we have a short agent tooling panel with Sean
The
Percool and Brian Holt. So that's cool. Then, a little break. Talked with David Kramer. He's got his 15 minutes to talk about what if bugs fix
I'm
themselves.
stoked for that one.
Then we have Luis from Replit talking about Replit's quest for autonomy. Then we have Nico from Vercel talking about building AI applications with AI SDK.
Sick.
We got lunch, and Sam's going to sign some books. We got, maybe a new book. We'll see.
There's some
sh-
Easter
show
eggs
up-
out there already.
Show up and you've maybe seen it. We got a new book. We'll be, you'll be able to grab a copy. Then we got a whole bunch of lightning demos, which you saw. Atai was just here.
Yeah.
He's in that list. Dan from Boppy, Sergio from Arcade, Dustin.
Goose is on the loose.
Yeah, Goose is going to be on the loose on Thursday. Dustin from Postman, Simon from Assistant UI, Zach from Circuit and Chisel. And then we have a future of observability panel with Mark from Langfuse and Aparna from Arise. Auth for MCP and agents with Michael Greenwich from WorkOS.
That's going to be dope.
Writing TypeScript with Codex, Neil
That's
from
gonna be
OpenAI. And then we have the closing remarks, which we're just going to you get me, Sam, and Abhi again, just wrapping things up. And
Probably
then
say peace.
peace. We
Yeah.
will definitely say peace. And then, of course, happy hour, networking. And if you haven't seen it, there is an after party.
There is an after party.
So that's the conference. It's going to be exciting. you should
If a whole day wasn't enough to hang out with us, you could have an after party as well.
Yes.
Thrown by our homies at Neon and Code Rabbit and whoever the fuck, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
the funny thing is, so the after party has twice as many registrants as the conference, in-person conference. People just want to come hang out and have drinks. you
Yeah.
know? I think it's like,
Southern Pacific.
obviously with the conference is sold out, but I think, we're just over 300 in the conference. We let a few extra people in, but I think there's like 500 registered for the after party. So it's going to be an event. Come to the after party.
Should we get some of the? Yeah, right back.
Yeah. All right. Well, while Abhi maybe goes and recruits some Mastra members to come say hello and what they're looking at. Yeah, we're gonna bring on some people from the Mastra team because why not? This is our live stream. We're gonna have fun. Daniel's gonna come on. Why not? Come on over. Come on, step into the office.
I'm coming right up.
All right, we got Daniel. Daniel, tell people what you work on or what some of the things you've been working on at Mastra.
Oh, recently, a bunch of processor related things. Did a workshop last week on that.
Yeah, tell us about the guardrails workshop.
It was pretty fun. I would definitely go check it out on the YouTube page or the X channel.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You looking for a way to drop that right now?
Yeah,
oh,
right
nice.
there. So go sign up, go register and subscribe while you're there. We're trying to get our YouTube count up. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure
This is dressed like he plays golf. Get over here, Grayson.
Yeah, we're gonna. All right, so
For the record, I do not play golf.
You kind of look like a high school science teacher.
Okay, let's get the science teacher in here.
Yeah.
Say what up to Grayson, y'all.
all right, that's Grayson. Grayson, tell people who haven't met you what you're doing at Mastra.
I'm helping keep customers unblocked, inform the framework what customers need in the real world, and make sure it all works.
And you've built some agents before. What's something you were doing before this?
Building agents in like the finance manufacturing space. So they were internal agents that helped the business run more effectively. Automated invoice ingestion where it gets the invoice and matches it to a vendor and helps accounting reconcile. Helping source products to manufacture them. So, I want to make sunglasses made in India, and it would pull back manufacturers that could do that. All kinds of things like that.
Cool. Well, yeah, we're excited to have you.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Science teacher.
Dude, you're looking good. You're looking good. Nick, come up here. This is Nick. He's the guy. We call him the king of rag. There's another one. What else? No, there's. I'll think of it. We had some names. The emissary of evals.
The emissary of evals.
The king of rag. Yeah, Nick is Avi's brother, but also tell us a little bit about what you've been working on recently.
Lately, it's been a lot of working on storage, working on workflows, making those better, getting everything ready for our 1.0 release. So hopefully everyone has a good time with the 1.0.
All right. Next up, we got to bring Eric in here. If you've been playing around with our playground and looking at our observability, you've definitely seen some of the improvements. So Eric, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been working on at Mastra.
I started at Mastra about 3 months ago. I've been building up an entire new tracing system. Before this, I worked at DataStax, worked out the graph rag system there.
Yeah, and so if you've used the new AI tracing, you've seen and probably very much appreciated from what I've heard from people, Eric's work. So
Eric's the goat, dude.
Yeah, so thanks, Eric.
Represent.
Marvin, you can't not get in here. But you're a fan favorite. You've been here before. This is Marvin. Marvin, what's some of the stuff you've been working on recently?
Oh wow! A lot of things. I'm mostly working on the studio. Sorry, it's not playground, it's studio now. I'm working on the local studio and on the cloud studio. And recently, we have released a new cloud studio. So if you have tried this one, give us feedbacks. Would be nice.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. So if you've tried the Mastra Agent Studio in cloud, please
Yeah.
let us know.
Yeah.
And
That's
we need to get the next person on, you know. We got at least one more. Tony was already on. All right.
We got the man himself.
All right.
Yo.
We got Sam. So we got the three co-founders in one frame.
Boom.
All right.
Yeah. So
Tell us a little bit. So we teased the new book. So
teased
tell
the new
us just a tiny sliver of what they can get if they come to the TSAI Conf and get your new book on Thursday.
So at TSAI Conf, we're going to be sharing the new book with everybody there. So the book, this is the first book. It's in frame. Principles of Building AI Agents. Probably read it. It kind of goes through the basic primitives: agents, workflows, RAG, evals, tracing. But what the second book is called Patterns for Building AI Agents, and that goes through sort of the more deep stuff, like how do you do context engineering? How do you like architect an agent? So like we've done, Shane, how many whiteboarding sessions do you think that like the three of us have done with people? 50, 60, 100?
Dozens upon dozens. Like it might not be
yeah.
100 yet, but it's got to be close. Yeah, it's got to be close.
I mean, we so like a lot of this sort of like how do I do multi-agent? Should I have a supervisor model? Like all like how you think about that, how you think about grouping agent like functionality together, and then all the different pieces of context engineering. So like memory and sort of like tuning that so that your application improves performance. Then we close it out with sort of like evals, and there's just a lot of patterns that have emerged over the summer around things like how do you pick and I'm not even like, yes, there's like the actual like how you write an eval, but a lot of it is like thinking through what are the metrics for success of your agent. Like, is false positive more important? What about false negatives? And then what are the sort of the failure modes that are driving that metric kind of like up or down, and how do you just sort of like think about that? Principles is like really a guide to getting started, but what patterns is it's a guide to starting to like improve the accuracy. Yeah, it's a chamber of secrets. It's a sequel. It's like how you're starting to get your application higher accuracy and towards production.
Oh, funny thing about evals from the book though, John took an evals course and he learned nothing, which is good. That means we already knew what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Guys.
And Eugen isn't here, but he'll be here.
He'll be
here soon. So yeah, and there's for all of you other Mastras that are not here, we miss you.
Yeah.
And for everyone tuning in,
this is actually like a tough thing because like a lot of our team members could come, but a lot of them couldn't come because of like visa concerns or like important family events. And so like we're happy to get together, but the hardest part of a remote team gathering is always the people who couldn't make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good way to
end it. We appreciate you all for tuning in. Make sure you're following me and Abby and the rest of us. We did get a new X handle at Mastra. So
yeah, at Mastra now.
So follow,
thanks to Shane.
Yeah.
Shane did, he sniped it.
So follow us there on YouTube. Make sure you're, we do like the subscribe numbers to keep going up. So please go follow us.
Subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
See you in the Chamber of Secrets.
And we hope to see you all at TSAI Conf on Thursday. If you can't attend, register anyways. You can watch it remotely. We'll be here on the live stream. You'll see us and a lot of other really cool speakers. And with that, let's sign off.
Peace.
Peace.